Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams, guys. We always have some fun on the Man Hour, and if you guys take things a little bit too seriously, you probably shouldn't be watching the Man Hour. Let's be flat out honest, because I get worked up just because I have fun in life. If you like, I already got a text message saying you need to chill out. I'm not saying who it was from, Cindy, but nonetheless, guys, I am going to sleep on the couch tonight 100%. We have had a great show. We've had Zen on. We've talked some baseball. We had the what does, of course, but it is time to talk our bread and butter. It is time to talk some NFL football. This is championship weekend. We have the Green Bay Packers, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You had the Kansas City Chiefs taking on Bills Mafia. So today, guys, we are going to tell you how each team can win their respective games. So, Combs, I'm going to come to you first. You are not a Packers fan, but how can the Green Bay Packers win this week versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Spill it, Combs.
Do not, and I repeat, do not tell Aaron Rodgers it's the NFC Championship game. That would be the best bet, because once he knows it's the NFC Championship game, like, the choking begins. So, no, seriously, to not ruffle Wyatt's feathers anymore. It looks like he was going to cry for a second there. But the Packers need to come out and have a completely different game plan than they had in Week 5 when they played these guys the first time, or Week 6, whenever it was. Because they got annihilated, and they were playing well at the time when they got annihilated.
Yeah, they did.
They've got to have a better game plan. They need to get Davante Adams deep. They need to get him open early and often. And they really need to pound the ball and keep Tampa Bay's offense off the field. If Tom Brady's not on the field, he can't beat you. And so that would be my key to the game for the Green Bay Packers.
So, Combs, let me poke some holes into your philosophy there. So you're saying that you need to go deep with Adams, but then you need to keep the Tampa Bay offense off the field. You can't have both best of both worlds there. Like, what are you gonna do? Throw it for a 60-yard bomb and they got 15-yard penalties?
I said early and often. Listen to me, Buck. They need to get him deep early and often, and then they need to pound. And then they need to pound the ball and keep the Tampa Bay offense off the field. They need to score a bunch first, and then keep the Tampa Bay offense off the field.
So you want to go blow for blow on offense and then get like a 10-point lead and then just keep the offense off the field?
You're not going to go blow for blow because Tampa Bay doesn't have that explosive offense. They don't have that offense that can get into a shootout with you. If you put up 21 real quick on this team, you're in good shape.
Okay. I somewhat agree with that. But, Wyatt, how can the Buccaneers win this week versus your Green Bay Packers?
Go back to the previous matchup, go watch everything that happened, and come out there with the same fieriness that they had in that second quarter. A lot of people like to forget in that game. Yes, it was, I believe, 38-10 was the final score, 38, 31-10, something like that.
It was 10-0 Packers first.
It was 10-0 Packers right out of the gate. We all saw the triple pump from Aaron Rodgers. But nonetheless, come out with the fieriness that you had in the second quarter. The Packers, as you mentioned, they got us to get Davante Adams early, so I'm going to mention the Buccaneers have got to find a way to neutralize Davante Adams, because here in the last couple of weeks, if he's been hot, Green Bay Packers win games. It is just flat out simple as that. If Davante Adams is catching passes and he catches – I'm going to say the mark for this one. So if Davante Adams catches 7+ passes, has 80+ yards, and a touchdown plus, it is a Packers win. I don't know the stats on that, but I can almost guarantee you that there is like a 99.9% chance if Tay has those numbers that the Packers are going to win. So my philosophy, find some way to neutralize him, whether if that is through double coverage. I mean, he is the most aggressive route runner in the league and the best wide receiver in the league. You heard it here. So, so just find a way to neutralize.
How do we give him the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and tell us how they can win? And he spent 3 seconds telling us how Tampa Bay can win, and the rest of his time telling us how great the Green Bay Packers are.
I was trying to get him to think outside the box and not go with his homer pick, but clearly, Wyatt, you did not go that route because you basically said how the
Jesus
how the
Christ.
Packers can like win 100% there, man. Like,
Yeah.
let's
How
be
can the
honest.
Tampa
Yeah.
Bay Bucks win? Well, they got to neutralize Devontae Adams. But when Devontae Adams goes for 7 catches, he goes for 80 yards, 1 touchdown, the Packers are definitely going to win. What?
So
I know
Combs,
what my what the is next week.
you said I think you said this on yesterday's show that you said that this is not the same Buccaneers team that played versus the Green Bay
not.
Packers because the addition of Antonio Brown, yada
They're
yada yada.
better, and they're clicking.
However, Antonio Brown is out this game. Is that a big factor that Antonio Brown is not playing in this game versus the Green Bay Packers this week for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It
if
is
he
a
doesn't
big
play, I don't know if
factor.
he's out again or not.
Yeah, it is a big factor if he does not play. But it's still Tom Brady. It's still a conference championship game, and I still don't go against Tom Brady when it comes to those games. I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers. I don't care who it is. I'm not betting against Tom Brady until Tom Brady will be 75 years old and sitting on his couch. And if they pan in on Tom Brady with a hat of a team on, I'm going with that team because somehow, some way, that team's going to win because of Tom Brady. So,
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
So let's go ahead and jump over to the chat here over on youtube.com/manhour. Tim says that somebody needs to make Rodgers upset prior to the game. Maybe the Packers should announce that Love is going to start the game. I mean, usually when Aaron Rodgers is upset, he does play his best game, his best football. Wyatt, do you think you need to get Aaron Rodgers upset to win this game?
Let Danica Patrick do the coin toss.
Oh man,
Too soon, right?
I'm a big racing fan too. I actually have a Danica flag down the hallway, but oh man, no. I honestly I don't know. I've been watching Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays a lot on the Pat McAfee show, and it seems like Aaron Rodgers this season, not just on the field but off the field, he's in a completely different mindset. He talked about this last Tuesday a lot. Was that he's a lot happier now. Like not just on the field, not just where he's at, not just with the situation, but just in life. Like he's taken a better outlook at life, slowed things down, and looked around a little more is what he said. And he said, and that has changed his outlook of everything. On the field, everything's been better. So I don't know, like I feel like that could work, but at the same time, I don't know if you need to take him off anymore because he's been playing with a chip on his shoulder all year. That's exactly what we've seen. This is why we've seen Aaron Rodgers do what he did this year. And honestly, I think drafting Love was a better move for Aaron Rodgers than it was for the Green Bay Packers in their quarterback future. I don't even know if Love will be the guy. It'll all depend. As of right now, Aaron Rodgers looks like he's got 3 good years left in the tank, 4 good years left in the tank, something like that. I mean, he looks like prime 2011 Aaron Rodgers during that 15-1 season during the regular season. Let's hope we don't have the same ending to that one. Let's hope we have the same ending as the year before, which was a Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi Trophy returned to Green Bay. Let's hope that's the thing. But I would say, yes, that could help maybe taking him off. But at the same time, I think we've already seen it, that this is him ticked off. This is him playing with that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I said right here on the Mike and Mike Man Hour back in like June or July that Aaron Rodgers would be playing with a chip on his shoulder all year just to prove like, hey, what are you guys doing? I have plenty of years left, and we've been seeing that all year. Combs, who is the X factor in this game?
Oh. Toss a coin. There are so many playmakers. And so many things need to happen.
I can tell you right now, both teams.
Yeah.
Who's the X factor, Wyatt?
X factor for the Packers is going to be Robert Tonyan, because I think that the Buccaneers are going to spend so much time prepping for Devontae Adams that they're not going to neutralize him, but find some way to. Oh man, yeah, no kidding. So I think that they're going to find some way to slow him down, not neutralize him. That's the word I'm looking for. Slow him down. So Robert Tonyan's going to have to step up huge. If Robert Tonyan has a great game, then the Green Bay Packers are going to click on all cylinders. And as for the Buccaneers, the big name that I'm going to mention here, Leonard Fournette.
Playoff Lenny.
Playoff Lenny. Just like you said, Green Bay rush defense has had issues all year. Yes, here in the last couple of weeks, they've kind of roped it back together. Ever since they played Derrick Henry, ironically, ever since they played Derrick Henry, the Green Bay run defense has been a not bottom 5 in the league run defense. So
Just bottom 10.
And
now,
I think
right?
that's why I'm having such a hard time
Yeah.
picking an X factor for this game, is because I want to say Tom Brady, but at the same time, either whether it's Fournette or it's Jones, both of those guys have to have really good games. And with AB being out, Mike Evans needs to step up. They need Godwin to not drop every pass thrown to him. So there are a lot of X factors in this game. But if I had to pick one, you made me pick one. I would say that it's going to come down to, for Tampa Bay, it's going to come down to the quarterback in Tom Brady, and for Green Bay, it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, these guys ultimately are two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and each one of them is going to need to step up and if they want to get to another Super Bowl.
Yeah, and you are absolutely right, Combs. The quarterbacks definitely do have to step up. So that's where I'm going to go with my X factors, is at the wide receiver spot. Not your big names, not Adams, not Evans, but I'm looking at the number 3 receivers and like number 4 receivers on both of these teams. Allen Lazard and Scotty
Miller.
For the Bucks.
Miller, yeah.
They both need to step up and have big games because I think all eyes are going to be on Mike Evans. All eyes are going to be on Devontae Adams. So those role guys, those third and fourth receivers, have to step up and have a big game. And some X factors, like in the chat here, Tori Anderson says the Green Bay D has to be the X factor in this game. Timothy Leonard says, well, yeah, if you stop Henry, you are able to stop majority running backs in the league.
Yep.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
I think.
I think it depends on the day, because just because you stop Henry this week doesn't mean you're stopping Henry next week, and it could be the same exact damn defense.
Sure.
It just depends on the day that he's having. So it's like to say, like, they blew Green Bay out of the water in the last game, 38-10. I don't think that's the same thing. I think this is a really close game.
Yeah. This game's going to be won in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with if you stop Henry, you can stop a majority, because it really just depends on what day you have. If you go out there and Henry has a really bad day, it doesn't make you a great run defense all of a sudden. It just means you had a good day against one of the top running backs in the league.
And I disagree with like both of those. It is all about the defensive scheme that you bring into the game. So like we were talking about the Buffalo Bills and like how they had a scheme to stop Lamar Jackson. If they were to run that same scheme versus, I don't know, let's say Josh Allen, like, they're playing each other, and you had that same scheme to run that to stop Josh Allen. Josh Allen is going to succeed in that scheme. So it is all about coaching, like at that point, in schemes from day to day to day, week to week to week, game to game to game. So speaking of the next game, like we just talked about the Packers versus the Bucs, we are going to talk about the game of the day, the game of the weekend, the game of the year, the Super Bowl defending champs Kansas City Chiefs take on the Buffalo Bills. Wyatt, how can the Kansas City Chiefs win this game?
Get the weapons involved heavily. And I am not just talking about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce when I say that. I am talking about CEH has got to be involved. I am talking about any of the guys, McCole Hardman, Robinson, all of those guys, kind of like Buck mentioned, the third and fourth guys, because Buffalo has a good defense. Tre'Davious White, most likely, I'm not going to guarantee it, most likely is going to have Tyreek Hill's number all game. He's going to be on him. He's going to do his absolute best to try and stop him. Now, will he stop him the whole game? There is literally no way to stop Cheetah for an entire game. He is way too fast. So he's going to get a couple of big ones off on you, that's for sure. But also the biggest thing I want to mention for them to do it is how well will you react to this big play offense for the Bills? Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs have a big play offense and even better big play offense, but this is really the first time that Kansas City has seen an offense this elusive, this great in the playoffs that throws up a ton of points, will run with you neck and neck, has a electric, wild quarterback who can throw it, who can run it. Essentially, I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes can do the same thing, run it, throw it very well. He can run and gun. So I'd say your reaction to your mess-ups, your reaction to the fact that Diggs is going to have big plays, the reaction to the fact that Josh Allen is going to have good plays, the defense is going to make plays. How do you stick that out? How do you turn that around? How do you continue to stay positive? How do you continue to keep your head up and continue to take it each down, each play, and continue to fight?
So just to poke a little bit of holes in you, just like I did Combs earlier, the Cleveland Browns was a high flying offense this season. They actually had more 40-point games this season than the Kansas City Chiefs. So they have seen a high powered offense there, Wyatt. So I mean they're like obviously the Bills is a little bit more stable, right, per se. Combs, how can the Buffalo Bills win this game?
Just what you guys are talking about. They have a very good, very powerful offense. They've also got a really, really good defense. Their defensive, I've said this time and time again, their defensive game plan last week against the Ravens was flawless. And they need to come out with that again against hopefully Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But the offense, man, stick to your game plan. Stick to everything that got you to this point. And do what you got to do. Look, the Kansas City Chiefs are one of those teams. They allow the 16th most yards on the 15th most plays this season, giving the defense they're the 18th highest ranked defense in the National Football League. So they are a beatable defense. So do your thing on offense, run the ball, pass the ball, mix it all up, do everything you got to do, get Diggs going early. Get that offense going early. Cole Beasley is going to be a huge, huge impact player on this game. Watch for Cole Beasley to have a huge game this week. And the Buffalo Bills just have to play Buffalo Bill football to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and Combs, just to add to your point there, Cole Beasley is having a career year. This is some of the best stats that he has had all in his whole, I think, 7-year career at 6-5.
I would say this is the best year he's ever had. I mean, he had some good years in Dallas as that slot guy, and he is a nice number 2 anywhere. And this is something that a lot of I have some friends that are Dallas Cowboy fans, and they all mention, Cole won't do anything anywhere else. He fits Dallas so well. He needs to stay in Dallas. And I said, no, he's one of those guys that will work literally on any team. I could throw Cole Beasley on any squad and he will be successful because he gets open every single play. That's what Dak Prescott talked about it a couple of years ago. Every single time, this is his exact words, every single time that I look around and I can't find somebody, I look for Cole because Cole is always open. Cole is always sitting by himself. But a lot of people overlook Cole Beasley because he's not that big play guy. He's not the guy that you're going to stick on the edge and send on that streak route. And he's not that guy who's going to go up in the air and moss somebody for the ball. He's just that guy that gets you 8 yards every single time you throw him the ball. He's that guy who, when you are 6 yards out from the end zone, people are doubling Stephon to the right. Brown is covered to the left as well as the tight end. Singletary, he's a guy that'll slip right through the coverage on a little out route or some kind of maybe a in something, and he'll be sitting right there all by himself. You just float it to him and touchdown.
So one of the biggest things that like you guys missed here in our conversation. Let me go ahead and bring up this chat from Jameson here as I hit the wrong one. He says Patrick Mahomes will play no matter what, even if he has a concussion, pinched nerve, or even turf toe.
I hate that, man. I hate that.
I mean, like Combs, you were obviously not okay with that. Why? We were like, I think we had this conversation on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember
Monday,
but do the Kansas City Chiefs have a chance if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play? Combs?
No. Completely different team. Look, no disrespect to Chad Henne. I mean, he came out and he did his thing, and he helped them win that game versus the Browns. I mean, that first down run was phenomenal. Good on him. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He can't do the things that Patrick Mahomes can do, and there is no way on God's green earth Chad Henne is getting into a shootout with Josh Allen. There's just no way. And so, no, they do not have a chance if Patty Mahomes doesn't play. But I've said this before, Jameson. I don't know if you've been here this week. I know you were here on Monday, but yes, they have no chance. But if there is any chance, a 1% chance that he could injure that neck even further, I don't want to see him in the game. I just don't, because you're risking a career of a guy who could potentially be the next greatest thing that we've ever seen. He could be. I said this on Monday.
I think he already is the next greatest thing we've ever seen.
He's Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Lamar Jackson wrapped up into one quarterback. Like,
What are your thoughts?
I mean-
Chiefs have a chance without Mahomes.
I will go against the grid on this one. I will say yes, simply because of the whole film, no film thing. And Combs mentioned that you can't get in a shootout with Buffalo. He's 100% correct. Henne will not be able to keep up in a shootout with Buffalo. But do you know who will? Tyreek Hill. Do you know who will? Travis Kelce.
Right.
Do you know who will? McCole Hardman. The defense. Yes, Henne will not be able to keep up with Josh Allen. 110% Combs is spot on with that. But they have so many weapons on offense that I refuse. I could go play quarterback for them. I refuse to count them out of any game. Any of us three could go up there and just get the ball in Hill's hands. Get the ball in Kelsey's hands. They are such playmakers to where it's almost to the point that just as long as you get it to them and you continue to get first downs and the defense makes a couple of big plays, sure, it's going to be, well, not sure, absolutely, it's going to be hard without Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be, the odds are going to be stacked against them, without a doubt. But, I will say but on this, the biggest thing is just as long as those big play guys can continue to make plays and the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line gives him time and protect him to get it to those big play guys, and the defense makes plays, and Harrison Butker and the special teams unit makes theirs plays, they are going to have a shot in this game no matter who's at quarterback. So I will go against the grid on that one. Yes, they would have a better shot with Patrick Mahomes, but also I will agree with Combs. I wouldn't want to risk it if there is any chance of a further injury, but also at the same time, this is a business. This is a win-now league, as Buck always says. So I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think there's any chance of Henne really playing this game, unless if it is something so severe that he legitimately cannot play.
Right. So
Torrey Anderson here. You don't invest $500 million on a guy
Exactly.
if Mahomes has a chance to cause a premenstrual injury. That is a really bad autocorrect because premenstrual is not the type of injury I'm planning on here.
Yeah.
Timothy Leonard says Henne does not need to be Mahomes. Henne needs to rely on his experience and play patterns
Yes.
with his receiving core.
Absolutely.
I agree. Torrey, yeesh, premenstrual is a bad autocorrect.
all right. So I have let you guys speak. I mean, obviously I am a Kansas City Chiefs
Let's
fan.
hear the Chiefs fan. Knock it
But
out.
you guys understand that the
I know
Kansas
you
City
ain't
Chiefs
talking.
and the Buffalo Bills played, I believe it was week 7, in this year. The Kansas City Chiefs went to Buffalo and they beat Buffalo. 26-17 was the final score. With that being said, in that game, the Kansas City Chiefs rushed the ball for 46 times in that game. How many times did they pass the ball that time? They passed for 20 times in that game. So they ran twice as more rushing plays than they did passing plays in that game versus Buffalo. They basically, Tennessee tightened the Ravens in that playoff game last year by doing it to the Buffalo Bills. They kept that offense off of the field. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 26 carries for 161 yards. That was like his coming out party. He is coming back from injury from week 16.
Coming out party.
And like he will be back this week. So why not feed that young kid the ball? If let's say Patrick Mahomes plays and he's like 70%, right? Feed the running back ball. You have Le'Veon Bell. Used to be arguably one of the best backs in the NFL. He still has it in him. He just needs some touches, right? You have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Feed those guys the ball. Rush the ball. And you can do the same thing with Chad Henne too. So the Kansas City Chiefs actually might be better off with Chad Henne in the game to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Jameson wants to know what we think about Kansas City's kicker since he's been shaky.
He is horrible at PATs, but he has not
Yes.
missed a field goal in like 12 weeks. So
I was literally ready to go with that. Like that literally makes no sense to me. How you can miss the close-up shots, but whenever you back away, you can hit those. It's actually funny. I called the IHSA semi-state game this year. Cathedral played in it versus Castle. Buck knows who those two teams are. And the Cathedral kicker, he is like this national prospect, right? He missed 3 extra points, but hit like 350-yarders. I'm like, hold on now.
Cody
What?
Parkey syndrome.
Exactly. It was so confusing. How do you miss? And it's high school too, so it's not like the NFL where it's backed up 10 yards. They're
Yeah.
kicking it from the 2. How do you
I
shank
actually
the
think
kick?
I actually think if you hit an upright, you should get more points than 3 points because I think that's harder than it is to kick it through the uprights. Like Cody Parkey, we should have won that playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles by like 10 because that double
up.
doink should have been worth 12 points.
But he wasn't aiming for that. He was aiming to go through, Combs. He double doinked it and sent it onto the
That
ground.
makes it
in
even
front of
more
the field
impressive.
goal.
He wasn't even trying to do it.
So, guys, let's go ahead
Oh,
and
he
take
couldn't
our.
do it if he tried, though.
Let's go ahead and take our last break, guys. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk a little bit of UFC. We have a big fight happening. We have McGregor versus Prairie coming up here on the Man Hour right after the break, guys. We'll be right back. Man Hour Nation. Thanks for checking out that Man Hour clip. You can check out the full episode in the link below in the description, or you can check us live Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time on youtube.com/Man Hour. Or you can download the podcast form on Spotify and iHeartRadio as well. Man Hour Nation, stand up.